So, who decided of the advertisement budget for every Resident Evil game?
That's kind of it's a mix of various things. So we have you know, our UK office. They will look at the budget for the UK and they will look at what money to spend in the UK, whether that be TV, radio, print magazines, internet, outside or with a billboard, the big poster, or on the metro with the posters. So, and then the actual materials will get created or designed on a central level. So some of my colleagues will work with agencies to come up with a design, and then we say, hey, here is the design for the poster, here is the design for the print advertising. So, you know, here we have the design for the point of sale for Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. You know, and once these are done, then the territory will just say, okay, we will have 2,000 of these, we will have, and then we will put the print ad in this magazine, because it's the right target audience for each particular game. Obviously with Resident Evil, you know, it's a brand that we know quite well. I think we know a lot of our customers, our consumers already. So many of them are already aware of the game. You know, we know it's coming out on this day. So we don't, you know, they don't need to be told. You know, they know, they have it in their diary. This date I must go to shop and buy. Yeah, but obviously we want to expand the number of people who play the game, and so we have to talk to those people. And I think, you know, the brand is Resident Evil brand is well known. You know, not just through the games, but obviously through the Paul Anderson films. You know, helped perhaps take Resident Evil to a different audience who didn't perhaps play the games before, and they saw the films. You know, we have the number 3 film in development now, set in Las Vegas, or I hear buried Las Vegas. So yeah, it's sort of, you know, we look at different ways, and obviously we try. While there's always a theme to Resident Evil, you know, the T-virus and obviously zombies, they're always there. But, you know, different games look for different approaches. So something like Outbreak, which was an online game, we perhaps take a different approach to Resident Evil 4, which, you know, was a brand new way of playing, of looking at Resident Evil, and that's great. I think, you know, that because it would be boring for people to see the same advertisement. Oh, it's Resident Evil 5, you know, with just the number has changed. You know, it's important that we change the games.
Of course.
Maybe I haven't really answered your question, but to answer your question simply, it's on a country by country basis. So EA, for instance, will also, where they distribute our titles, will also look at their media and decide how to spend their money to advertise, promote the game. So, you know, we supply the materials, and then each country says, okay, we will use these materials and we will use them in this way. So that's kind of how it works. Sorry, I gave you a very long answer to a short question. But
it was a good experience. Who chose to go for TV commercial instead of magazine ads, for example?
I mean, again, that we don't do a TV advert for every single title that we release. It depends on who we're trying to reach. So, and also and something with a brand like Resident Evil, it's a big brand, so you can be pretty guaranteed if you do some TV advertising, you will hit the right people. The right people will see your advert. If it's a smaller game, you know, that isn't so well known, it may not make sense to go on television, because perhaps it's a game that's very Japanese influence, that the audience, the people we expect to buy the game, is not as big as for Resident Evil. So with television, it's very expensive, so you have to be certain that when you make a TV advert and you book and the money you spend is well spent. So if we make a TV advert for Resident Evil, we want to make sure it gets to the right people. So it's looking at you know, the types of program that Resident Evil fans and gamers that we're trying to attract to Resident Evil watch. You know, it could be maybe there's an opportunity for some sponsorship of a TV program. I think it's something they do quite often in France. Some sponsorship deals with, you know, maybe at the time of the game launch, you know, a TV station is running a series of horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe it would be great. Oh yeah, this is a good opportunity. Let's sponsor this section of movies. You know, so it's I guess it's kind of decisions made. You know, is made when we know, number one, for sure when the game is coming out. Number two, you know, the age rating for the game, because obviously that has an important part to play. You know, if the game is an adult rating, then where we can advertise on TV, we can't advertise before certain times. We shouldn't advertise with certain programs. You know, so those things have to be taken into consideration. Also, you know, sometimes we might even, you know, you might take a TV advert from our American colleagues, because we work with our American colleagues to create an advert that works for both America and Europe. So there's lots of kind of different reasons or thoughts process that we think about before we come up with, yep, this is TV advertising for this title, and then it's, we're going to do TV, okay, where does it go? Does it go on this channel or that channel? And, you know, how many times do we see it? Or would it be better to put this advert on at the cinema, for instance? I think also cinema is a very good way of reaching our target audience. And you could perhaps with cinema be more specific. You know, if you know, you can say, I want our cinema advertisement to be seen with these films, you know, and the films are correct for, you know, the type of people who goes to see a horror film, we believe would be interested in playing Resident Evil, or, you know, an action, you know, a high octane action movie, you know, sort of Jean-Claude Van Damme or a Vin Diesel, those kind of films. Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's old, isn't he now? Doesn't do any film, probably retired now. But
he's a whale.
He is, yeah. You know, or a Jet Li film is probably better, modern example, you know. But something like that where, you know, it's going to be young guys who are predominantly the audience for Resident Evil, who are keen, you know, going, right, okay, you know, they're into that kind of thing, and hopefully video games is part of their the things they do in their hobbies, their pastime. You know, so films, video games. So that's, you know, we have used cinema quite a lot actually, and it's a good, effective way for us to do that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, long answer.
Good.